will give a presentation of our project today. Our target company is AS Monaco, one of the most famous soccer clubs in Europe. It has won the second place in Ligue 1, the French professional football league last year. Besides their awesome performance in the field, they also earned a lot of profit in the transfer market. During the last 5 years, Monaco has earned over 70 million euros in total by selling players. And these are the top 5 transfers in the last 5 years, leading by Mbappe and Lemar. The strategy they're following is to purchase young players with most talent and potential. And after training and improving their market value, they will sell them in the transfer market and get a huge return. This is the table which shows the clubs with most balance in transfer markets in the last 2 seasons. Although AS Monaco has the largest profits, we can see the competition is very intense. The Monaco's market share will face the threats of Dortmund, SL Benfica, and FC Porto in the following years. These 3 or 4 clubs have a similar strategy with Monaco. They also will purchase young players and sell them to earn profits. Our database is from the video game FIFA 19. It contains all the data from the real-world players, such as physical skills and also the market values. All this data are from the real-world data and dated by the committee of over 8,000 coaches, scouts, and all the season ticket holders. So it's not just a game database. It's also an objective database from the real soccer world. Actually, it's not the first time the data is related to the soccer. Back to 2014, the Brazil World Cup, Germany has applied the Adidas My Coach system to improve their training, and finally, they won the champion.
Okay, after we understanding the Monaco's business, we need to find the appropriate method to organize our data. After having a look at our database, we find in our case, we want to find out the different factors, how they affect the market value of players. Consequently, it should be a supervised method, and the most appropriate algorithm is the multiple linear regression. The multiple linear regression is a method that models the relationship between 2 or more explanatory variables and a response variable. And the formula for the MLR is on the screen. The yi stand for the dependent variable, and in our case, is definitely the market value of the players. And the xi is the explanatory variables such as the dribbling, the strength, the springs, the acceleration, which will affect the market value of our players. And the beta p is the slope coefficients for different explanatory variables. It tests how in what extent the variables will affect our market value of our players. And also we have the error term. This is the difference between our predict value and the real value.
Okay, after understanding algorithm, now let's move on to the actual modeling of our project. Basically, our project is a R-based modeling, and we conduct our analysis. All of them are in R. And we use 3 packages. They are with Excel. This one is just for the importing of the data. And the second one is Math. This one is a very good package for conducting the box cost transformation. It will discuss in the next PPT. And the final one is a very famous one. This one is ggplot2. It's a very good package for drawing the pictures. Yeah, as we can see, our dependent value, the value for our players are not normally distributed. If we can see, it missed all the left part, or you can say, yeah, the left part of the data are all missed. So it's a right skewed data. Since in the multiple linear regression, we assume that our epsilon are all normally distributed, and the x for our project are all fixed, then it means we should have a y that normally distributed. So our the first task is to transfer our data from right skewed data to a better data which is normally distributed. The technical here is the box cost transformation. It is conducted by dotted box and dotted cost in 1964. It's a very great technique. We can see, as we can see, for our result, there are 95% confidence that if the data, our lambda can be 0.4, actually it's 0. No, it's not 0.4, it's 0.08 or 9 or something. So it's very close to 0, then we can use log, just log to make our y to normally distributed. Yeah, and this one is just the first. It's a very simple linear regression for our project. We just put all of our x into the model and see how well they will describe the market value. And we can see something good and also something bad. I think the bad things are much more than the good things. Actually, we can see our adjusted R square is 92%. You can see, or maybe they can see here, it's 92%, which is pretty good for a project. And our F-test data showed us the p-value for the F-test is very small, which means at least all the beta here are not equals to 0. But for many X, such as maybe some skills for the goalkeepers, or maybe some skills from long passing skill or other things. Because in this model, we just try to explain what kind of attributes that affect the value of the bad defenders. So this kind of attributes are not that relevant. So the T values are very small and the P value are very high. And it says that maybe take the GK positioning, for example, is the position. How well these players choose their position as a goalkeeper. Of course, it's not that relevant to the defenders, which is our Y. And you can see the T value here is 0.1, which is very small, and the P value is quite high at almost 86%. It means there are 86% chance that this beta is equals to 0. So we should get rid of this all kind of attributes here and perform a better equations. And this one is our final model for the defenders. Since we divided all the players into 4 positions. One is the forward, and the second one is the middle field, and the third one is the defenders, which is here, and the last one is, of course, our goalkeepers. They all have different kind of attributes that affecting their market values. And our final goal is just find out what kind of attributes is more relevant to their value and find out their estimate beta, which is the extent they will influence their market value. And as we can see, the total model performance is quite good here. The R square, adjusted R square is 0.91, which is a little bit lower than the last one, but still acceptable, 19% accepted. Yeah, and the p-value is also very high for the f-test. And every p-value for the t-test here are all very low, which means they all need to be something other than 0. So this model is quite good actually in my mind. And next one, please. Yeah, we can see that we just give a picture about our prediction and compare them to the real value in the database. We can see actually the red one is our prediction, and the green one is the real value. As we can see, they almost they stick together, and it implies that our model is well enough to predict the real value. And this picture shows how many percentage that our data is different from the real market value. And we can see most of the difference is within 20%, which actually is quite a acceptable value in today's transformation.
All right. After my teammate introduced the method and analytics of the model, we finally moved to the result. I'm going to show you the factors that can significantly boost football players' market value in different positions. However, before that, I'd like to show you the mechanism that our club using that model to earn money. We assume each football player as a stock. We are treating that stock, treating that in a very low price, and use that factors to boost their market. And when their price pretty high, we gotta trade out them and earn the gap. That is the money we're gonna earn. So for the position of forwards, as we can show here is a central forward Falco, very handsome guy, almost as handsome as me. And there's 5 factors that actually can boost the market value of them. They are the short passing ability, reaction speed, and the cooling is too short, and the ball control, and the sense of position. So basically, we're gonna change our method to training them from the general one and to the more target trainings regularly for each of the sections, so that they can actually boost their market value in a very short time. Next is the midfield. Let me show here the Fabregas. And basically for them, there are 3 factors here can boost their market value. That is ball control, reaction speed, and the short passing, which is normal because he kicks the balls in the midfield. And the next one is the backfield. As we show here, the central back of the Jamerson. And there are also 3 factors here. We got the standing tackle and the reaction speed as well. And finally, the sliding tackle here. You need to tackle the ball and kick that back and attack again. So next one is the goalkeeper, very important position. Basically for them, there are 4 factors are most significant. And that is the abilities to the ball handling and the ball diving, as we show here, and the sense of positioning. We always have the sense of what you're gonna attack, and the body flexibility, which is very important. You always see them tackle that ball and catch the very flexibility. And basically, we can train the young football players in different positions, and we're gonna train them to a different position so that they can boost their market values. We can trade out them after that and earn the money. So another thing is that in the reality, actually this provides you with a general standard when we transfer our players out or in. So basically, we won't buy any football players that is overvalued, and we're gonna sell them this very high price and earn the money as well.
From our result, we can see some practical significance in Monaco's business. So the first one is the market values talent far more than experience. We can see this result from the coefficient between the age and the market value. It's relatively high. So which means the talent and potential is what the Monaco stressed out. And the second one is the taste to players in different positions is quite different. This is very obviously because we have 4 different models. We have different coefficients and different factors affect the different players of different position. So the third one is the young player need to determine the position and have the customized develop plan, which means they need to know their potential in which position and how they can achieve their talent to have the higher market value. So from our result, we can have some expectation in the future. As a result, Monaco can become a data-driven company, which is very advanced among different clubs. The second one is Monaco needs to introduce some devices to collecting the players' own data, because at the moment all the data sources from the FIFA, from Alternum. And the last one is the model and the data need to update it dynamically because the market value and the players' performance are changing rapidly. So that's all for our presentation. Thank you for watching.